guys, I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with Yanzi Lynn, and today is the day we are going through more Mark Miller tweets as he is on fire. He is actually pushing back against the cancel culture, which is comics. He's trending right now on Twitter. The term cancel pigs is getting labeled. Now, SJWs do like labels. I hope cancel pigs stick because SJWs was, and Cancel Pigs is trending, by the way, too. Cancel Pigs is ours. SJW is their term. So I like Cancel Pigs. It's sitting with me pretty well. What do we got?
So for the past 2 days, Mark Millar has been fighting with the SJW factions. I'm like they are fighting with him. See, he never picked a fight with anybody. All he did was give Glenn from the Comic Book Palace a platform to speak from, and suddenly they're all like, "Oh my gosh, you're parroting the Comicsgate talking points. That means you're Comicsgate." And Miller replies, "Oh, and nice try to the cancel pigs trying to frame me as a Comicsgate guy, so they can use their typical line of attack. I don't believe in any factions. I'm an own man, and I believe in good comics." And he goes on to say, "Of course, it's the way they operate. They tie to something they can discredit and use to attack. But again, I just laugh at them. I'm a member of zero comics factions. I just love good comics and I want to see everyone prosper." So here's the deal, you see. It's very easy to basically say someone is Comicsgate because once you attach the label of Comicsgate onto them, it's very easy to say, "Oh my gosh, if you're Comicsgate, that means you're racist, Islamophobic, you're a Nazi, you are misogynistic, you're blah, blah, blah." It's like you can put all these terms together and put in one nice convenient package called Comicsgate.
The other thing
And
about calling someone Comicsgate is when you're an SJW, you give yourself a license to be unruly, to do the worst, say the worst things because it's okay because they're Comicsgate and they're a Yahtzee of some sort.
now let's not forget though, the term Comicsgate is not something you can choose to pick up by yourself. We ourselves picked up the term and say, "Yeah, we're Comicsgate." But the moment you start saying things that do not align completely 100% with the SJW talking points, like you say things like, "Yeah, maybe we need to go back to more basic character focused stories instead," suddenly they'll say, "Oh my gosh, you're an alt-right Yanzi Islamophobic, i.e., you're Comicsgate. How dare you not like this race swap, gender swap version of Captain America or whatever that we give you? You are obviously one of them." So that is how they try and get you. They try and get you to stay on their side by saying, if you don't stick with us and agree with everything we say, you are Comicsgate.
Right.
Now, what are the spicy things that Mark Millar is saying that is making people really just ratchet up this narrative they have about him? He's going to do a live stream with what he calls the 3 biggest comic book retailers in the USA tomorrow. And someone asked him, can DC and Marvel be saved if they're just corporate platform limbs? Have they now become what Archie Comics did 40 years ago when the big two were on the top? And he thinks, I think there's an excellent chance that they both collapse in the next couple of years. And the book's stripped down to a handful of titles. There are brand names licensed out like Disney Comics, but I always have hope. So this is a thing that we have been saying on this channel for a couple of years by now. We think that unfortunately, because there's just no real profit exactly to be made from selling comic books now, especially making them, and we all know the reason why. Comic retailers are saying why. Self-insert, race swap, gender swap, all these weird attempts to try and find relevance when the people you're trying to appeal to don't even know the existence of you. But hey, so what does this boil down to? He's basically saying, you want to make a Batman comics? It'll probably be licensed out to somebody like, I don't know, maybe Boom or Dark Horse or somebody will pick up the license and they'll produce all the Batman material from now onwards. So this was something that Warner Brothers and Discovery, which is now merged into one company called Warner Brothers Discovery, they actually kind of floated this idea out saying, what if we license out the comics and then we mine the ideas to make our movies, games, TV shows, blah, blah, blah. So consider a pretty big Comicsgate talking point, but oh my gosh, look, Mark Millar, who calls himself not Comicsgate, i.e., I don't belong to any factions, is saying this. I guess that makes him Comicsgate then, huh?
That's the other thing about, the Comicsgate label. You don't get to choose it. Sometimes people just throw it on you, and whether you say you're not, doesn't matter. They say you are, you're Comicsgate, at least to them. Now, the other thing about this that's kind of crazy is this talking point, which we adopted, originally was being said by Heidi McDonald, who kind of acts like comics are doing better than ever and tell retailers the industry's doing better by paddling up Dogman and manga and saying, giving retailers a false sense of confidence, basically, which is, I think, a crime unto itself. With that said, we've seen Disney, Warner Brothers, divest from retail. Disney stores are no longer in malls. So the idea of Disney saying we don't have a comic book division and we just license out to other publishers to either recollect or 80 years, 100 years of comics, or make new comics every now and then. I think it's actually really happening.
So another thing that Mark Millar brought up here that is also causing out some outcries because he basically exposed to the world that night letters are a real thing. He says they have no power, referring to the cancel pigs. I spoke to one of DC's biggest writers at the weekend, and he told me he's lived in fear of them for years. But I couldn't emphasize this hard enough. Cancel pigs hurt people for sport because they're damaged personalities. You must never take them seriously. One thing I want to say though, Mark, it's great that you can say that and say don't take this guy seriously, but you have what we people like to call FU money. You have so much money that you can try and cancel all your work from the mainstream with DC and Marvel, and you'll still be doing fantastic. In fact, I think what you're doing with your indie stuff is really good, and it's a real example for all of us to follow. But the truth is that you don't have to worry about trying to get a paycheck from DC and Marvel. So you can say that the rest of us, especially those of us beholden to mainstream, we kind of have to live with this whole, I'm going to have to be a bit more careful with what I say in case I accidentally say something that becomes politically incorrect down the road and then I get canceled.
It's a little bit different. I could not take cancel pigs seriously, be working in Marvel and DC, but I have to the fear is me not taking them seriously. That's not the issue, whether I do or don't. The issue is whether editors, whether publishers, whether the crowd, the Twitter mob, if they take the cancel pig seriously. And that's kind of the issue. And that's part of the cancel culture. It's a very weird thing. But if you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Let us know what you think about this below. Also, Axcend Level Up is up. I'll leave you guys with the trailer for this smash hit comic.
I dream of a world carefully crafted, beautifully flawed. This is Axcend. In this game of life, there is one thing that determines a victor. A player's ability to grow. A player's ability to evolve. A player's ability to survive. My name is Dog. Choose to play. Choose to upgrade. Choose to level up. Choose to Axcend.